Alright, let's talk about something that's got the entire box office world buzzing right now: Spider-Man, Brand New Day and its insane opening weekend numbers. But here's the thing, this isn't just about breaking records. It's about what these numbers mean for the industry, for Sony, and for the future of superhero movies. So, let's dive in. First off, The Hook, Brand New Day just shattered the all-time first-day record with $168 million in the US, beating out Avengers, Endgame's $157.4 million. But here's where it gets interesting. Personally, I think the real story isn't whether it'll beat Endgame's $357 million weekend record. What makes this really interesting is why it's happening. In my opinion, this isn't just about Spider-Man's popularity, it's about the timing, the marketing, and the post-COVID hunger for big-screen experiences. If you take a step back and think about it, this movie is coming out at a time when audiences are craving something massive, something that feels like an event. And Sony delivered that in spades. Now, let's talk about the numbers. Sony's calling a $325 million weekend, which is already the second best ever. But here's the kicker, some analysts think it could hit $350 million or more. What many people don't realize is that this isn't just about domestic numbers. In China, Brand New Day is dominating with over $71 million since its Wednesday opening. That's huge, especially considering No Way Home wasn't even released there. From my perspective, this shows how much the global market is betting on Spider-Man, and Tom Holland's version, specifically. One thing that immediately stands out is how this movie is performing without IMAX screens, which were monopolized by other big releases. That's a detail I find fascinating, because it proves that Spider-Man doesn't need every advantage to win big. But let's zoom out for a second. What this really suggests is that the superhero genre isn't just surviving, it's thriving. Even after a decade of Marvel dominance, audiences are still showing up in droves. Personally, I think this raises a deeper question: are we in a superhero bubble, or is this the new normal? I mean, Brand New Day is on track to be Sony's biggest domestic opening ever, and it's a record start for director Destin Daniel Cretton and Zendaya. This isn't just a win for Spider-Man, it's a win for the entire industry. Now, let's talk about the competition. The Odyssey is holding its own with a $52 million weekend, which is impressive considering it's up against a juggernaut like Spider-Man. But what's really wild is that the overall North American box office could hit an all-time record of $412 million this weekend. If you think about it, that's not just a win for Brand New Day, it's a win for cinemas everywhere. After years of streaming wars and pandemic closures, theaters are proving they are still the place to be for big events. Here's where I'll add my own commentary. I think the real story here is the survival of the fittest in the theatrical marketplace. Look at the showtimes, it's basically Brand New Day and the Odyssey dominating screens. Theaters are giving these movies the prime real estate because they know that's where the money is. And it's working. Walk-up business for Brand New Day exploded in the late evening hours, to the point where Sony couldn't even count the money fast enough. That's a rare air for any studio, and it shows just how much demand there is for this movie. But let's not forget the audience reaction. Brand New Day has a 98% Rotten Tomatoes audience score, the best out of all 9 live-action Spider-Man movies. Critics are loving it too, with a 90% fresh rating. In my opinion, this is a movie that's firing on all cylinders. It's got the hype, the star power, and the quality to back it up. And that's why I think it's not just about breaking records, it's about setting a new standard for what a blockbuster can be. So, will Brand New Day beat Endgame's weekend record? Honestly, it's too early to say. But even if it doesn't, it's already a massive win. What makes this moment so fascinating is that it's not just about the numbers, it's about what those numbers represent. It's about the resilience of the box office, the power of a well-loved character, and the undeniable appeal of a big-screen spectacle. If you ask me, that's the real story here. Closing thought, as we watch these records fall, let's not lose sight of the bigger picture. Spider-Man, Brand New Day isn't just a movie, it's a reminder of why we go to the movies in the first place. And personally, I can't wait to see what comes next.